To whoever may need
Welcome to Between Views. I'm your host, Alec Koski. This podcast aims to cast light on and connect you with inspirational people, identify them as potential mentors in your journey, and share their wisdom with the world. In this episode, we converse with the inspiring entrepreneur, hunter, father, athlete, and owner of Fallow Nutrition, Dan Maberly. I'd just like to take a second to let you know that this set of podcasts has been brought to you by Fallow Nutrition, an Australian-made, all-natural and organic, vegan, gluten, dairy and nut-free nutrition company that has been inspired by nature and handcrafted in the snowy mountains. At Fallow, they believe in the power of plants to transform your health and well-being. They offer premium quality plant protein powders, superfood pre-workout and electrolytes that will nourish your body, support muscle growth and help enhance your overall performance. At Between Views, nothing gets us more excited than a post-workout smoothie with a huge scoop of Fallow protein. The link to Dan's product will be left in the description below. Remember to use the code FALLOW10 for 10% off your first order. Welcome to Between Views. Today I have a very special guest sitting alongside me. We are both sitting looking out over an amazing mountain range in the snowy Monaro region in Jindabyne at Dan's current property. It is an amazing place. I can see how you would get into a really peaceful and motivated mode down here. I've written an intro for you, mate, so I'm just going to read this first. Dan is a person that I greatly admire and a man of many talents. He's a determined and motivated person with focused goals and strong and optimistic vision of he and his family's future. He's a creative, product-focused businessman and is the owner of a vegan, organic, all-Australian ingredients nutrition company known as Fallow Nutrition. He is dedicated to athleticism, training, nutrition, and a healthy lifestyle. Dan has also recently become a father and is now balancing all of this with being a committed husband, compassionate and caring father, and provider. In all, Dan is a master of juggling the hundreds of components that make up the busy modern lifestyles we try to lead today. And today we're fortunate enough to learn from his experience, gather his wisdom, and connect with him as a mentor. Welcome to Between Views, Dan.
Awesome. Thanks for that, mate. Sounds good.
Quite a rap, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good little ego boost.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been quite a productive day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So what we might do, we might just jump straight in with the questions. So I guess the first one that I set up for you was to talk about Fallow. I actually personally just wanted to make a little comment about Fallow. I actually really love it. I've used the coffee protein a bunch of times. And maybe a few listeners might have already clocked this, but I really enjoy coffee. And just having that little treat, that delicious coffee protein after an exercise or a workout, honestly, it makes me feel really good and it feels just like the perfect reward. And knowing the products that are in your one, I know there's nothing to muck around with. There's no nonsense. But I might let you tell everyone about Fallow, its story, its inspirations, whatever you want to say about it. The mic is yours.
Cool. Thanks. So pretty much, at Fallow, we believe in the power of plants to transform your health and well-being. We offer premium plant-based protein powders, superfood pre-workout, and electrolytes that will nourish your body, support your muscle growth, and help enhance overall performance. All of our products are dairy and gluten-free, nut-free, and at this stage, vegan and all natural. Like, I prefer not to have any artificial things in there if I can. I try and keep it as natural as possible. It's a bit hard these days with only like 4 to 6% of the world's food consumed is organic, so it gets pretty hard to source organic ingredients all the time. But we do our best.
Yeah,
do our best. You like the coffee protein? That's good. It's actually my favorite flavor too. And even my brother, who doesn't drink coffee, it's his favorite flavor too. Yes, it's the only coffee here.
Does he realize that he's actually kind of eating coffee now?
Yeah. It's like about a half a shot of coffee in there, so it gives you a little bit of boost, especially if you don't have coffee. It's not too bad.
Which after a workout, getting that extra bit of energy obviously feels really nice as well, just to kind of pick you back up, give you that little bit more.
Yeah, my uncle Darren Froth said he's a truck driver and he has a has a coffee protein shake in the morning and he loves it.
Yeah.
Feels good after it. Yeah, but we've also got like a superfood pre-workout, because when I was going through a bit of a bodybuilding stage back in the day, probably about 2015, started training. I got Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding encyclopedia and I started training, every muscle group twice a week. So I was training 6 days a week, 6 days a week.
It's heaps of activity.
Yeah, morning and afternoon training while working as a lifty up at Thredbo. And after tasting pre-workout for the first time, I had this 3 times testosterone enhancing pre-workout. And it had heaps of beta alanine and things which I had no idea what it was at the time.
Yeah, a big list of labels that you didn't understand.
Chemical names, and I just saw, testosterone boost. I was just like, oh, yeah, it's cool. This is like steroids. And had a half scoop, and my face started tingling and I felt really great doing the workout. And I was like, oh, this is great. And the next workout, I went to 1 scoop. And the next workout is a scoop and a half. The next workout was 2 scoops. And before I knew it, I was just surviving off pre-workout. And then because I was crashing from my pre-workout after having that, I would just go straight to having coffees to get me through the day. So it was good. I was buzzed all day. I was really happy, really chirpy on the lifts, but I was just constantly peaking and then crashing, peaking and crashing. So with my training now, like I don't do extreme bodybuilding training now. I just do full functional training. I'm training for a fitness race, High Rocks. So I don't have super high stim pre-workouts, because I like coffee too. So if I'm having too much caffeine in the day, I'll just crash. Yeah. So my pre-workout, it's a superfood pre-workout. So it's got adaptogens in there to help you deal with stress, like ashwagandha powder, Siberian ginseng. There's only 38 milligrams of caffeine in there, so it's actually less caffeine than the coffee protein, but it's from a different source. It's derived from organic matcha green tea and guarana seed extract. So it gives you a bit of focus and a little bit of an energy hit, especially if you haven't had caffeine and you don't drink coffee, you'll get a nice hit from it. Yeah. And I sort of designed it so, because I was training really late as well, and I also do night hunting sometimes and go spotlighting. So if I'm going to have a bit of a pick-me-up before that, then I'll have a bit of pre-workout and I can still get to sleep on it. So that was the purpose of it. So if you're caffeine sensitive, you can still have it and you can double scoop it. It's no worries. Yeah. It's no worries. It's good.
So I guess what I'm hearing is you were trying out different proteins, and while you were pretty much in the peak of your main training stage, and essentially you weren't really getting the nutritional value that you needed at the time, and that started to come across in your head as maybe something you could solve. Is that kind of where the idea for Fallow came from?
Yeah, because like the name Fallow came from my pursuit of hunting, right? Because I wanted to learn how to get better quality food. Like I wanted better quality. I just thought there could be something better out there. And after learning about factory farming and where our food actually comes from, I was like, ooh, maybe there's something there. And after learning about pretty much toxicity in the body and how many things are trying to or are adding to different levels of toxicity in the body, I thought, man, if I'm going to be taking supplements for the rest of my life, I want it to be good quality. And I want something that as many people as possible can have, right? So originally I was like, all right, I can make my own protein. Let's do a whey protein. I started, first of all, just researching. I was just researching because I don't have a degree in nutrition or anything, but I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours of researching and looking at studies and learning from people that are a lot smarter than me. And I thought, okay, well, if I get a whey protein, where can I get the best quality whey protein? And you need to have a biodynamic, high quality grass fed, milk to get the best quality. And I know Mirabuka do a good quality grass fed protein, and that's good. But I also wanted something that also didn't upset my stomach, because even though I love milk and I love milk products, the diarrhea and the bloating.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people these days who could relate when you say that. Like, as soon as I see whey protein on any kind of product, I'm just like, well, that kind of rules that out. I'm just going to have a sore stomach after.
Yeah.
So instantly, I don't know if it's that there's more people that struggle with milk these days or dairy products. But also that kind of lines up with, maybe ethical choices. Like Fallow is actually a vegan product as well, right?
Exactly. So you can have it, like, no matter what your ethics are, you can have it.
And whether you like milk or not, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to have milk for a person who likes milk to enjoy the product, right?
Exactly, because I was drinking a lot of whey protein. So not only drinking a lot of whey protein, I was also drinking dirty, like 2 liters of iced coffee after training and stuff. So like I had a lot of milk in my system. I was like constantly breaking out and bloated, and I just thought it was normal. I was just like, it's just the meat that I'm eating. But no, it was the milk. And same with Teresa, my wife. She
just milk or dairy and
dairy
in general made you break out.
Yeah, but there was lots of things that I was having to, like, you can't have 2 liters of iced coffee without, especially with that much sugar and that much crap.
Guess you were flushing the system.
Yeah, and then I was having like quad shot caramel mochas throughout the day as well, so that didn't help.
Yeah.
Right, I was training hard, but
I
was putting a lot of crap into my system, stressing it out a lot. So, we prefer to do plant-based, and I started going on a bit of a plant-based journey, and I tried a vegan diet for a few months with training, and while I was on the pursuit to hunt my own deer, because I thought, all right, factory farming, there could be a better way. I live down in Jindy, so like Jindabyne, so there's opportunity to hunt deer around here. I had my firearms license. My dad taught me to shoot, but he never taught me to hunt. So I thought, all right, I'll give this a go, and I'll try and get my own meat and do it an ethical way. And that was a big journey. Took about 6 months for me to learn everything and get something. Yeah. But once I got it, I noticed the difference. Once I tasted something that I'd hunted the first time, like I cried. I cried that first bit of meat that I had, that I'd cooked for my dad and the family at the table. I was just sitting there, eyes closed, crying. It just felt so good for my soul. I was like, yes, this is good. I need to pursue this. Yeah. So
what I'm hearing here, mate, is I'm hearing that, we're looking at your product and looking at your angle on how you provide food for your family, how you provide, obviously, this protein for the people who want it. It seems like things being ethically sourced or perhaps sustainable practices is something that's quite important to you.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Because, I would love to eventually have every ingredient that I can, like regenerative farming methods, but the world's just not there yet. But if I can do a little bit, with my products, a little bit for the industry, and maybe help it turn towards a bit more natural and make people a little bit more aware of, what large commercial monocrop and genetically modified organisms do to your system and to the planet, then maybe we can all progress and get a bit better. Like Fallow, I wanted to make it inclusive, like, because I've got a lot of vegan mates, and I got a lot of people that can't have gluten, a lot of people that are super allergic to nuts. So I've got a wide variety of friends with dietary
Is
requirements.
Fallow nut free?
Yep, it's nut free. So it's one of those things that you could have, unless you're allergic to coconuts, because there's coconuts in the protein and in the electrolytes that I have. So if you're allergic to coconuts, then you may have a bit of an issue with my products. But apart from that, it's really inclusive. So and it's high quality too. So the protein is three different 3 different plant-based proteins. So it's
What is it?
Australian pea protein isolate, biofermented and sprouted brown rice protein, and then organic hemp protein.
Is that
so
the little bits in there? Is that, what are they?
That's quinoa puffs.
Oh,
Little quinoa
such a
puffs.
treat.
It's different. Right? I just want something different.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. It's like,
Neither have I.
just has like these, for people listening, it just has these tasty little crunchy-ish, they're like semi-crunchy, like chewy sometimes once it's in the protein of quinoa puffs in there. And I find that they typically make it to the bottom of the thing if they have escaped the blender.
Yeah.
But if they do, they're usually hanging out on the bottom. It's just like a nice little treat to finish on, like a little chewy snack at the end of the protein, which is really nice.
It's like if you like pulp in your orange juice, or if you like crunchy peanut butter, it's like that. It's like crunchy protein shake.
Yeah.
Teresa loves it.
Yeah.
We've got little chia seeds in there as well, so a little bit more of a crunch. Yeah. It's just unique. It's different. Makes it creamy, coconut base. And I have it with coconut water too, so I get a little bit of electrolytes with the coconut water, makes it a bit creamier. Yeah,
so you prefer to mix with coconut water with your protein?
Yeah, always. Some people use,
because it has the electrolytes, right? It's it's an obvious choice.
Yep.
Oat milk I usually go for. I think I just like a creamier smoothie with frozen bananas. It's really good.
Yeah, nice. And you need electrolytes. So I have my electrolytes, especially if I'm sick. I'll shot my electrolytes when I'm sick.
Yeah.
To try and keep myself.
Why do we need electrolytes?
So you need electrolytes for so many functions, so many of your bodily functions. You need it. So, and you lose all your electrolytes through sweat. And if you don't replace your essential magnesium, potassium, sodium, then you get dehydrated. And just drinking water alone doesn't do it. So you need it. You need it. That's why I have it when I'm sick, because you're getting flushed out. Yeah, this is the natural recovery. That's what it is.
So I just have the another 2 of Dan's products in my hands right now. The flavor Kakadu plum, instantly I'm like, yum, that sounds so good. So I've got a stag strength superfood pre-workout.
Yeah,
I like that you went with stag strength. I feel like that's it's good marketing too. Like I feel like if you're someone who goes to the gym and you're trying to build size, and when someone tells you you've got the strength of like a stag and you see the big horns on the front, instantly I'm like, oh, sick. Yeah, I'd like some stag strength. That'd be great. And of course, recovery I think is something that people neglect. In the process. I feel like it's all too easy to skip that little stretch at the end of your gym session. It's all too easy to just like neglect sleep or how much water you need, but it's kind of one of the most important things, right? It's actually, if you get that wrong, you kind of sacrifice your gains in your workout, correct?
Yeah, that's it. And especially with hydration throughout your workout, like if you don't have enough sodium and you don't have enough potassium, magnesium in your system, then you start cramping. People just think, oh, I'm just running a bit too hard. No, we don't have any electrolytes in your system.
Yeah.
There are other factors that are involved in that, but it's mainly due to electrolytes.
Yeah. Would you say that after a workout, if you're noticing that you're cramping a lot, it's probably because you're lacking electrolytes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a good sign that you might need to either A, obviously hydrate, but if that doesn't work, you might be actually needing to replace something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I use my electrolytes after every workout. And during the workout as well. Yeah. So I'll sip on electrolytes throughout the workout.
Oh, during?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So like if you, for example, Powerade, because I looked at Powerade. I used to have Powerade all the time. I was addicted to that because it's got a lot of sugar in it. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's easy enough.
Yeah. So they say drink 15 like they drink like a quarter of a bottle every 15 minutes of exercise, to keep you hydrated. So I use it as an intra-workout. So during my workout, I just drink, sip it. And I feel like that helps me. I sip it during my hunts. I put it in my Camelback and I'll sip it during my hunts. And I don't cramp up. I used to cramp up a lot because I never used to use electrolytes at all. I was like, I don't need it. Water's good enough.
Yeah.
But, for me, I needed it.
So you noticed with a high output of energy and obviously sweating a lot, you needed to actually reach for something to replace it. Yeah,
exactly. And that's why I've just got some beta-alanine as well. So
what is beta-alanine?
So beta-alanine is a molecule that helps essentially remove the lactic acid in your system. It helps regulate blood sugar levels. So people throw it in, like different companies throw it in pre-workouts. It's what gives you that little tingling feeling. It's like what I got addicted to the first time I had pre-workout was that tingling in the face. But if you have like too much, you go over the recommended dose, like it just feels like all your skin's itching. It feels pretty gross.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not ideal. So that's why I didn't put it in my pre-workout. If people like it and whatnot, then they can have it extra.
Oh, so you chose to leave it out?
I left it out of it, because not everybody likes it. It doesn't agree with everybody.
Yeah.
So if you like that and that's what you're into, like for example, if you're doing heavy weights and you're doing I think I can hear Aquila.
Yeah. So Dan's son Aquila might jump in and out of this interview. A few little knocks on the door there. So that's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm out here, buddy. Yeah. So when you're doing lots of heavy weights, you're burning sugar, right? And the breaking down of sugar produces lactic acid. So if you don't stretch it out, like do a warm down or have extra substances like beta-alanine to help you flush it out, you just cramp up and get really tight, and it's not good.
Yeah.
And that can affect your training. So yeah. So if you're doing long distance and like endurance, you're burning fat, but high intensity strength, you're burning sugar. So I'm experimenting with different levels of beta-alanine and also creatine. Yeah, creatine monohydrate, because creatine, some people add creatine to pre-workouts as well. And there's some creatine in proteins as well. But it's found in red meat, and it's a molecule in your muscle. And when creatine is ingested into the body, it increases your phosphocreatine stores, which is essential for adenosine triphosphate, which is
ready energy stores.
Yeah,
it's kind of like your initial energy system for taking off quickly, right? It's like our first 10 seconds of energy, right? And that's where we get our major bursts from.
Yeah. Well, creatine increases, your ATP production. So you just get more energy throughout your workouts, which increases strength gains. And it's one of the most widely studied molecules for sports supplements. So it's good. German Creapure is supposed to be the best one. But pretty much any creatine that you get in a monohydrate form is synthetic, made in the lab.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like unless you get the different amino acids and things from your diet, which help make creatine naturally in your body, which some supplements do that. Some vegan supplements do that, which is good. But if you want like pure, potent, high quality stuff, it is synthetic, but it's good. It's good. It works.
Sure,
it works. I find it works for me.
Yeah. So overall, you notice that certain products aren't working for you. It kind of inspired you to lean into looking for something else that would be more healthy, create less spikes, and that led you into building Fallow. And inside Fallow, you've tried to make it as inclusive of a protein as possible. And the ingredients, obviously, you're not trying to use anything, as little synthetic things as you can so that it's good for you. I imagine with this focus on things that are good for you, like training and like creating this brand, alongside that, I remember you said that you were eating a lot of protein at one point, but around the sides of that, you have to have good nutrition, correct? So I was just wondering if you could tell people sort of what your angle is on nutrition, especially when you're training so hard and expending a lot of energy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, better quality food gives you better energy. That's what I believe. There was a few studies that I read that you reach satiation with organic food. You reach satiation with something about 30% less food than your genetically modified food. Right, so it's just all the nutrient quality. It's nutrient dense. It's better. Right, when you get GMO foods. It's nice and big and beautiful and luscious, but it's not as nutrient dense. That's why the best food that you can get is like something that's grown in your backyard.
Yeah.
So we got our little garden out the back.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's a nice little patch.
Yeah. Like, and last night we had, because I shot my very first red deer a couple of days ago, and I was super stoked with that. And I had a few mates over last night, and we had a shoulder and a shank and slow cooked that, and I put that on a bed of potatoes and beans that we'd grown ourselves, and then made a bit of a gravy out of the juice, and it's delicious, and you feel the difference. Yeah, like I've noticed the difference, having my own eggs, and having my own salads from the garden. Especially my own hunted meat, I just feel energized from it. Yeah. Rather than having like a dirty burger and wanting to go to sleep. Yeah.
So ideally you're looking for sort of protein-rich foods that are organically sourced.
Definitely. Like, if you can. Like, it's really hard to, especially if you live in a city and you don't have the financial resources, or you don't have a organic food place close by. It's hard to eat organic, but it's not impossible. It just depends where you want to spend your money. I feel it's a lot better quality, and that's why I've opted to get as many organic ingredients in my products as possible. Yeah. But you just need to pay attention to how things make you feel, really. You just need to pay attention. So if you eat something and you want to go to sleep, well, your body's probably not processing it correctly. If you don't drink enough water, water helps flush all the toxins out of your system. So if you're just eating crap food, then you're not getting as many nutrients into your body. You're not getting the best energy that you can. You're not going to perform the best you can. And every little bit counts, even the air that you're breathing. So
what would be like, let's say you've got like a pretty big training day. How would you provide yourself nutrition on a standard day? Like, could you walk me through, like, from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, like, what are you going to eat to make up for that huge session that you've just done?
Cool. So if I'm going to do a training session in the morning, like, I'll wake up and I'll have my pre-workout. I'll do it fasted. Most times, especially if there's lots of endurance work in there, because I feel like when I do it fasted, I burn more. I burn more when I'm fasted. But if I'm doing heavy weights, I'm going to be lifting heavy stuff. Then I'll have a bit of protein yogurt, or I'll have like my protein yogurt. That's just my protein mixed with a bit of coconut yogurt, or I'll have a bit of sourdough with some avocado on it.
So some clean carbs.
Yeah, bit of hemp seeds and nutritional yeast on there. Bit of Celtic sea salt to get some electrolytes in there. So.
So including electrolytes in your food as well.
Yeah, Celtic sea salt. You gotta have good quality salt. Like,
so is all salt have electrolytes, or Celtic sea salt only?
Well, it's sodium, right?
Yeah.
So you need sodium in your system, and your regular table salt can do that, but you don't get all the trace minerals. The Celtic sea salt has something like 86 plus or something different trace minerals and nutrients in it. Okay. So, and those little trace nutrients help regulate all your systems. So if you have that as just your regular salt, it's good for your body. It's good for your body. So,
all right, Celtic sea salt, one to add to the shopping list.
Yeah, I just ordered 5 kilos of it. I'll give you some.
All right, I have to give it a try.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, all right, so you wake up, your general angle on it is you'd like to do it fasted. From what I understand, fasting gives you, I guess, a bit more it makes you hungrier, I guess would be the way I describe it. It makes you more ready to go and kind of like almost like angsty to do your workout, and you're not busy digesting food at the time while you do it.
Yeah, well, intermittent fasting, like, because I used to do a lot of intermittent fasting as well. Like, so I'd eat during like an 8-hour period and then fast for 16 hours.
Yeah.
And that, is used to promote autophagy, where, damaged and crappy cells that aren't functioning correctly just get killed off and replaced with good cells. So there's also studies about, fat loss and things, but it's really up to the person. Like it's we're as individual on the outside as we are on the inside. So one training and one diet method may be completely useful for me, but not as good for someone else.
Instantly what's popping up in my mind right now is what you said before about how you need to pay attention. The value of paying attention itself, obviously, that's a conversation on its own. But with your diet and your nutrition, if you're training and you're noticing that there's like pain, but not a good type of pain, then you probably need to stop.
Yeah.
If you're not even paying attention to that and you miss that, you're probably going to get injured. Yeah. Similar with your nutrition, right? Like if you're if you're eating something that's making you feel slow or lethargic or bad, either A, you probably ate too much, or B, you didn't get your nutrition the right way.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So you've gone in with fasting because you prefer to train without having eaten. Sometimes once you finish fasting, you'll go for like a yogurt, a protein yogurt of some sort, or you'll go for your sort of avocado on toast with the electrolytes, Celtic salt.
Yeah.
And then after workout, obviously before you're going to have one of your products. I imagine they always say never to consume your own product, but I guess in this case, this is one.
Well, that's really why I created
where you really should.
I created it for myself, so I could use it myself. And Aquila has like a bit of protein every morning. My little boy, he loves it.
Yeah. Actually, this helped him make a protein shake just before. literally. And he was there. He's like, let me scoop. I had to let him scoop it out.
Yeah, he loves it.
He goes 3 scoops.
Yeah,
and does. I'm not talking about like the big included scoop. I mean, he got 3 scoops of a tiny teaspoon.
Yeah, tiny teaspoon.
Yeah, he goes 3 scoops.
He loves the coconut yogurt mixed with protein too.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah,
I love it. But I'll have, after my workout, I'll have a double scoop of protein. Yeah. It's the beauty about having it, having such a large quantity at home, because I go through a lot. So I'll have my protein shake. If I don't have a meat source after my workout, I will definitely have a protein shake and more protein because you need it to build the muscle, right? But I feel if I'm doing a heavy workout and I damage my flesh, like, because that's what you're doing when you build muscle, you cause little micro tears and then you have amino acids or protein, and that builds the muscle and repairs it and makes it bigger, right? I feel like the best source is deer. So what I'll do is after my workout, I'll have if I've done something super heavy and just like, sort of 1 rep maxes or explosive or power training, then I'll have a bunch of sugar afterward. And when I say sugar, it's
I feel like a lot of people were just like, oh yes.
It's sugar from potatoes, like good quality potatoes, rice, because they're sugars, or I'll have a homemade juice, like a good juice. Natural sugars. Yeah, natural sugars. It's got to be natural. Don't avoid the refined sugars. Yeah. It's like crack.
So after workouts, you will reach for obviously your electrolytes, and you'll reach for multiple scoops of protein. How much protein should a person have?
So it depends on your goals, really. Like if you're trying to build muscle, Arnold Schwarzenegger said, a pound, so a gram of protein per pound in body weight. So I'm 101 kilos at the moment, so that's 222.2 grams. Yeah. So it's a decent amount.
Pounds, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a decent amount if you don't eat much protein. It adds up.
So that's where it becomes valuable to have some supplement with you when you either can't necessarily maybe afford or have the time to keep up the nutrients that you need for training, or you don't have access to meat that day.
Exactly. Or especially if you're vegan, right? If you're vegan, you don't not everybody has the opportunity to hunt their own meat like I do. Like I'm really, really
very
blessed.
fortunate. Yeah.
Very, very, very fortunate. That's why I do it as much as I can because, don't know how long I'm going to be here and I want the best quality that I can. But if you're vegan and you're training, you can get your protein from nuts. I mean, I eat a lot of nuts too. Snack through nuts.
So good. Expensive, but I think one of those things worth investing in. Such a healthy snack.
Definitely.
Goes a long way.
Yeah. Pistachios. Oh, man. I eat so many pistachios. I have carry a bag of pistachios with me in my hunting bag and also in my gym bag too.
Salt-free or with salt?
On. I like salt.
Yeah.
I like the salt.
No one's having salt free. Yeah. Don't kid yourselves.
Yeah. Or if I do have salt.
Health has its limits.
Yeah. That's it. I pay attention to my body and what damages my body, what makes me feel crap. But it's really what level of suffering do you want to have? I will happily go have that delicious iced coffee with a triple shot and extra ice cream and it's absolutely delicious, but I feel a bit crap after eating it. And it's what level of suffering do you want to have? I feel like with training, if you don't get the right nutrients into your body, there's no real point training because you're just going to stress your body out because you're stressing your body. The more stress you have in terms of weights training, the better the muscle can grow. But if you're stressing yourself out from fasting as well, because fasting is a stress, and then you're stressed at home, then you're having extreme amounts of coffee, which is going to stress your adrenals and excite your system, then there's too much stress on the body, and over time your body's just going to start breaking down. So you need proper nutrients. You need to have it. So
good training is wasted without good nutrients.
Yeah, definitely. What's the point in trying to train and build your muscle if you're not going to feed it the right things? So I'm literally fueled by fallow.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of our interview with Dan. If you enjoyed what you heard, please jump over and give Fallow Nutrition a follow. Also remember, the best way you can support this podcast is by liking and following Between Views on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Also, if you could leave a little comment in the section below, that would be unreal. Secondly, if you know someone inspirational who deserves to be interviewed, please send us an email at betweenviewsbv@gmail.com or give us a message on Instagram. Thanks again and see you soon. Between Views.